Welcome to the Off Tackle with John Fina show on the Overreaction Sports Network. Well, what is going on, everybody? Welcome everybody into the Sahlen's Off Tackle with John Fina show on the Overreaction Sports Network, presented by FanDuel. My name is Joe Miller, and you can find me on Twitter at Joe Miller Wired. I feel like a ring announcer, like when I do this. Let's get ready to rumble. Sorry. Alongside my co-host right there, former Buffalo Bill for a very long time, left tackle, the franchise left tackle, if you will, John Fina. And you can find him on Twitter at John Fina. Super simple, unlike mine at Joe Miller Wired. But please do us a favor. Please hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, whatever platform you are consuming this presentation on right now. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. If you can hit the notification button, hit that as well. So good to have every single one of you joining us. John Fina. It's Victory Monday.
Feeling it, man alive. It's good to wake up on a Monday morning and put my Victory Monday shirt on, and probably about the only great thing about my day today, but I'll take it.
It is nice to be back in the VM shirt. Yours is blue, mine is red, but it's nice I want to get one of the ones that says if you're reading this shirt, it's because the Bills won yesterday. Like, I want to get one of those shirts just because, or if I'm wearing this shirt, it's because the Bills won or whatever it said. But yes, Victory Monday is upon us. You've got some good stuff. How is that game, now that you've gone through some of the film and whatnot, how is it settling with you?
We were right last night when we just talked about high effort, attention to detail, drilling into your assignments. Mental errors is what really kills teams when you make just flat out mistakes. And then I always say the ball is not round. It bounces all over the place. And the more chances you give it to bounce haywire through mental errors and penalties and missed opportunities, the less likely you are to come up with a W at the end. So reviewing the film, it looked like guys were just dialed in a little bit better, and it revealed itself in the score.
Yeah, I felt like a lot of our takes were on point. I felt like I don't want to say diagnosed anything. It's interesting when you go through just the passing game and some of the woes there. We're going to break into some of the offensive line stuff and the James Cook stuff, which is going to be great for the listeners and the viewers. But it's so interesting when it's going to be interesting, or it is interesting when you go through what we talked about as it pertains to this passing offense, and you almost feel like you're getting conflicting statements from the coaches again. McDermott saying we're having trouble passing the ball, and Joe Brady saying I think things are great. I don't know where to go with this information. So I guess we'll see. I feel like there's I don't know what the word is. I don't think there's conversations going on behind closed doors, but I think there's a scheme. I was talking with somebody via DM about this, that like coaches like their schemes and they want players to play their schemes. They don't want to fit schemes to players. And you just got to wonder, Josh Allen, Jerry said it yesterday, we all know it, not being an anticipatory thrower is not really a Brock Purdy hit your back foot on step 3 and throw, hit your back foot on step 5 and throw. That's just not who he is. And you just got to wonder
what we're missing, Joe, and is the happy blend. So there are times when Josh is just leaving the pocket too quickly, and you say, oh, well, he likes to get out in space. That doesn't mean that if he waits one more second that he won't be able to get out in space. I think his clock is burning too quick right now, or the wick is burning too quick, or the candle, or whatever you want to say. Sure. And then the second part of that is the identity of this game was toss and handoff to James Cook, and was it successful, wildly successful. Well, would that put us in a position, put Josh in a position of taking the ball under center, turning his back a little bit, takes a little bit more time. Your body's moving in a different way and a little bit harder to find a rhythm and get your eyes right and find those guys downfield when you're not just looking at them right from a spyglass from the shotgun taking of the snap. And I would imagine that's going to get a lot of work this week.
So the question I have coming out of that game yesterday on Sunday, defeating the Carolina Panthers in Charlotte 40-9, they went to the toss sweep to the pitch out early and often. I don't think I've ever seen it called that many times in an NFL professional football game, let alone that many times in a season. Like the amount of times they played it.
Not in our lifetime.
Right, right. I mean, it's just not a play that is necessarily ran in the NFL for whatever reason. Did you see anything on film that tipped the Bills off to thinking they're vulnerable to this play? If we run this play, they're going to over pursue. They're not whatever because Carolina had a respectable run defense coming into this game.
There's really one thing that established the toss as a great play, and that was the way they played their corners. And now, to be fair to Joe Brady and the coaching staff, they schemed the formation such that when we were tossing left or right, I don't care which, there was no reason for run support to be terribly close to the line. And we do very well blocking with our tight ends and our tackles. And frankly, our receivers did pretty good. And the addition of Gilliam, either from motion or a static position, he was able to get out and put a hat on people before they could come up and even stop it within 4 to 5 yards, right?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
So that was really the key to our success. They were soft on the edges. And when you get the ball out that quickly via toss, it's really hard to recover and run support.
Gotcha. Well, I'm excited to see what you're going to break down for us. If you want to take over the show at this point here on the Sahlen's Off Tackle with John Fina show, please feel free.
Well, I do want to take over, but I just want to know, do you want to start with, I got 3 clips, O-line Josh, and I got about 5 clips of Cook. Do you want to start anywhere in particular?
Well, the show is called Cookie Monster, which I came up with today, and I was kind of surprised thinking about it that nobody else has come up with that little kind of moniker for him. But let's start with the Cookie Monster.
I think when you run for over 200 yards, you are a freaking monster. This is we've been hammering him already by this point with the toss, and this is just an example. And I don't know why it's not coming up. A little bit of a delay. This is just a great example of getting a hat on a hat. Everybody out in space. Josh is going to reverse out, and he's going to toss it to his right. But if you look right now, just what I talked about earlier, Joe, you've only got one defender outside of, I think that's Kincaid with Hawes at right tight end, right? So
yes.
we're already overloaded, including Reggie Gilliam.
No, it's Dawson Knox. If this is later in the game, Kincaid was probably out by now.
No, this was early in the game, but we had already been hammering him with toss.
Gotcha. Okay.
But just look at the math right here. From Torrance over, we've got 5 guys, and they have 4, 2 of which are 4 and 8 yards off the ball. And we have a receiver to the left, and I didn't do wide angle because I think this just, we want to watch technique and line play. There isn't a lot of support outside beyond this. And even if there is, you're going to get a face full of Reggie Gilliam, and nobody really wants that. I mean, I don't. I'm going to run it, Joe. You pick a guy on the right side and just watch. And here we go. Reverse out, toss, Gilliam. They actually kind of miss the block, but they miss it in their wrong right, or right wrong, if you will. So I'm going to pause it out here with either Kincaid or Knox and Gilliam. So right here, they kind of miss, but by this time, because the linebacker's off the ball so far, you've got Spencer Brown and Torrance working this stack to the linebacker. That's a gaping hole. That is a flat out gaping hole. But look at the timing of it. I'm going to go back right about as soon as the toss is made right here. Look at the width already that Cook has. And he's heading downhill. That's a head of steam. Hat on a hat. We talk about occupying guys in this league. It's hard to really move guys unless they're already moving. But if you can float out into space and engage a guy and stay connected, this is the kind of result you get.
Yeah, Cook is just running for daylight there.
Yeah.
Did you see at any point in time in any of the film that you did where the Carolina Panthers tried to make an adjustment to stop this play?
Oh, Joe, you read my Twitter post. You read me like children's literature. All right, I'll get to that. I'm going to bring this one up. This is power. So after just hammering them with toss, we run a little bit of a wrinkle scheme. We're going to bring Gilliam across the formation, and he's going to wrap. We're going to kick out, and we're going to wrap, and it's on its way up. I don't know why it's taking so long, but basically what you do when you have a truly successful play, as we had with toss, you want to come back with some sort of a counter. Mm-hmm. And I don't mean counter with insofar as actual counter, but a counter to that toss play, something that hits up inside, because we've been expanding them so much. But to your point earlier, watch the defensive end on Dion Dawkins, okay?
Mm-hmm.
All right, snap of the ball. He goes flying to width, right?
Gotcha. Yep.
All right. Why did he do that?
Because he was expecting the pit. He was worried about the toss. He was going to shut it down.
About the toss. That's right. So they're not playing with integrity here. They're playing just, oh my God, they're killing us with this. I'm going to make up some stuff on my own. This is like kindergarten. Like, I'm just going to go and do my own damn thing. There's the snap of the ball right there. And watch that defensive end go flying out in space. That just creates a natural seam. It's going to get there. Right there. Look at him. Look at him powering off that left leg. You got a pin with Edwards and McGovern. You're going to get a kick out by, I think it's Jackson Hawes, and you're going to get a wrap by Gilliam. You know what a wrap is? That's when a guy runs across the line of scrimmage and he wraps his way up north and south.
Gotcha.
Skip right over to that. Here's the kick out. And now you see Gilliam showing up right there outside of David Edwards with Cook right behind him. And he's going to fit up on 32 right in the hole. We got the backside cut off. Torrance is going to run his block into McGovern. Natural seam created. This puts number 7, the safety, in a serious bind here, because he's now in a position where he's 3 yards from a running back who's very fast going north and south, and he just waves goodbye.
Right.
And there he goes. And if I could get a longer than 10-second clip, you would actually see James Cook cross the finish line for the touchdown and do the flip.
Yep, we're also having some trouble just because it's a little jerky. I don't know what's going on with the film and why it's not smooth, but it's a little.
Well, I've been stopping it a little bit because I've been kind of trying to show you exactly things as they progress, because a lot of things happen, with 5, 6, 7 guys up front.
Right.
Another great play, and this was what I was talking about. When defensive guys get frustrated and they think they can just read into it and try and make a big play, they start doing things off book. And when you do stuff off book and it doesn't work, you create much bigger seams.
Yikes.
All right. So we saw it one way. Let's go back and look at the defensive tackle. It's going to do the same damn thing. He thinks, I'm going to be the hero. I'm not going to have my gap integrity. I'm just going to go flying off and see if I can stop James Cook on my own. Guess what? No luck.
No can do.
Look at defensive tackle on top of Torrance. He just goes flying.
Same guy. 99, same guy.
98. This is 99. 98 is on the right.
Oh, gotcha. My bad.
Being as one's a D end and one's a D tackle. But right, I'm gonna give you the snap of the ball. Right. Boom. Look how wide he is. I'm gonna bring it back. He's just flying out in space. And there it is right there. He's lined up on the guard. He's now almost outside the tackle. Now he's totally outside the tackle. And in this freeze frame right here, this gap is about to open wide. And James Cook, look at him. From under center, this is another thing. When you run the ball from the shotgun formation, you're handing off to the running back. He's got no head of steam. And whether you're tossing it or you're handing it off when the quarterback is under center, James Cook is hitting this line damn near full speed. And before you know it, I mean, this guy that runs 4.5, 4.6, that's a hell of a lot of gap, a lot of space to close and make a tackle. And the guy is just slick. And he's slick. And he's got good contact balance. And he gets through. I mean, we gashed him. They helped us, but schematically, we were way ahead of them in this game.
Right. He ran a 4.42, by the way, at the combine.
That seems fast.
It seems fast, faster than me.
Seems really fast.
I don't think my mind is even that fast.
Yeah, no, for sure it isn't. Okay, and this is awesome. I love this clip because we paid 13 or 12 or whatever $1 million for our running back, and we want to get value. This is another thing that James Cook gives us, just his vision, his ability to see there's nothing there. I'm going to take a chance and I'm going to bend it back. I'm going to trust my guys on the backside of this play that they're just engaged just enough that I can sneak out. So I just threw this one in here just to say how awesome was James Cook yesterday, Joe.
So good. He was so good. Yeah. This one
so good.
He got the edge and then gets the low 5 from Vandermark there at the end of the run.
That's right. So, I mean, I could dive into this play. There's a lot going on here. I really feel like Connor McGovern should have stuck into the hip of David Edwards a little bit longer instead of going up to the linebacker number 32 or the safety. The issue is at the alignment, and this is what we talk about pre-snap alignment. Connor's got to see the width of that linebacker up over David Edwards and think to himself, there's really not much of a chance that he's going to hit that gap in enough, quickly enough that I can't respond. And then on the snap of the ball, he continues to widen, which means Edwards should be ramming his head into the armpit of the defensive tackle, but he leaves Edwards too quickly. Edwards didn't really go too wide, but he's not getting that help. So the hole gets jammed up, and that's why James Cook bounces it back to the to the weak side.
So 56 there has good gap assignment, is what you're telling me. He stayed in his gap where he's supposed to be.
Give me the position. Can't read the numbers.
56 linebacker. 56 the Mike.
The Mike's not in bad position at all. But
he's going
to get picked up by Torrance. Okay, I'm talking about the guy outside the hash mark.
Yeah, I know. I was just commenting on the fact that the run fit there was good. Like he
yeah, for sure.
Yeah, he made
so good gap integrity by the linebacker, but Torrance has a really good angle on him right here. And if we get that front side block with McGovern and Edwards, this seam looks a lot like the last play. There should be a gaping seam right there, and you can see it here if Edwards and McGovern can figure that out on this particular play. But James Cook just figured it out on his own.
He's like, I'll go this way.
Yeah, whatever. You got you know what? Here you go, guys. You got a chance. No, I'm gone.
Exactly.
And he was gone.
Exactly. You know what else is gone, John Fina? Every time I go to Anchor Bar and I get chicken wings, like literally it doesn't take very long and they're gone. And the cool thing about Anchor Bar is they've got locations. I think you know this now because a new one just opened up in your own hometown. They got locations all over the country, 16, now 17 open and 2 more on the way. But the Anchor Bar, home of the original Buffalo chicken wing, is the place to watch the Buffalo Bills and all of your favorite sports teams. Go to anchorbar.com to see all locations and info for ordering online. Anchor Bar original Buffalo wings are fresh, never frozen, jumbo, high-quality wings. Their wings are deep fried and sauced to your liking with over 24 varieties of sauces and dry rubs to choose from. In addition to their famous original Buffalo wings, the Anchor Bar, all of them have a wide variety of menu choices, such as appetizers, boneless wings, chicken tenders, pizza, beef on weck, fresh burgers, sandwiches, salads, and wraps. Again, currently there are now 17 Anchor Bar locations with 2 more opening up, 1 in Frisco, Texas, and 1 in Raleigh, North Carolina. But yeah, if you don't got one near you, jump online, anchorbar.com, and get them shipped to your front door, John Fina.
Absolutely. And when you're sitting at the table at your location, look at that little placard right by the salt and pepper shaker, and it says Overreaction Sports Network, and you can join us. Yeah, It's pretty awesome. Real quick, let's jump back in. Thank you, Anchor Bar. We're going to go with Zone Week here. So this, if you remember Thurman Thomas and me and Jerry, we used to run this play a lot. And this goes back again to setting it up, right? Toss, we've been running wide. You got to hit him up inside. So we just went with a very simple, let's just go back to basics and run Zone Week. And if everybody in the comments don't know what Zone Week is, it's the open side. So all we're doing right here is just hammering the weak side. These guys are flying all over the place, and it's just opening up gaps. But I'll say this. With Josh Allen under center and James Cook with a head of steam, you even get half a man on your block, you're looking at 3+. I mean, it's such a great way to play football. I know we've gone to a lot of shotgun and these crazy formations, but I think you've noticed too, the evolution in the NFL, we're working our way, balancing to a really strong power running attack. And this is exactly what we did. It's a perfect freeze on this. You got McGovern and Edwards. They're going to ace block the nose to the linebacker. You got Osiris Torrance.
What is an ace block?
All right. Well, it's actually an A block because it's on the backside. So an A block is the center and the guard on the backside. A B block is the guard and the tackle on the backside. And a C block is the tackle and the tight end on the backside.
Yep.
Right. So you're cutting off the backside and you're expanding the front side.
Gotcha.
All right. I mean, do I really even need to show more than this? I mean, this is insane, this gap. I mean, Thurman Thomas ran through these quite a bit. There it is right there. The beauty of this and why Thurman was so good at it and the vision is it doesn't have to hit front side, Joe. And if you look at where Cook is, by the time he actually hits the line of scrimmage, he's not too far in width. It looks like he's wide, but he's actually cutting this back behind the center because the line moves and the downhill guy, it's just where the gap and where the seam opens up.
It's super cool. And Terrell Davis was like the one of the very first like super exposing geniuses of like the zone run scheme stuff. It's wild because the running back is just gonna like take his step and run and wait for the line to slide through, and then he's just gonna keep going straight. You watch this when you, especially this one, and you begin to see if you back it up and then run it forward. Cook is running downhill to a gap that isn't there yet, but the gap is going to slide to him. And his job is just to trust that gap is going to show up, right? That the gap is going to flash in front of him, and he's just going to squeak through it. It's wild to see.
Well, and when you coach running backs, you got to teach them to read the defensive lineman's helmet. So when the nose guard works really hard play side, you cut it back. When the nose guard plays backside, you hit it play side.
Right.
So if you can teach running backs how to read the first defender that poses a threat to your downhill run, you make your cut based on that. Now, if I were to really critique this play, I would go out here to Jackson Hawes because this is just horrible by him. And we love him. But I see a lot of this now in both college and in the pros where guys are trying to body people up without getting in an angled position or getting a leverage position on them. So what Jackson Hawes does here is he comes too far into the line of scrimmage rather than going flat. And that's similar to what I said earlier about Connor McGovern. So Hawes should be going flat down the line like he's running to the sideline and bury his helmet into the rib cage of the defensive end and then swing his body around in order to make this cutoff. Now, luckily, it didn't matter because Dion slowed him down just enough and Hawes got enough of him. And James Cook on a downhill hit the seam really fast and just ran right by him. As you can see right there.
Super nice.
But I would love to have that guy cut off a little bit better.
Good stuff.
All right, last one of Cook. And then I'm going to cook something else, Joe.
I didn't realize you were going to do this many Cook videos. I thought you said you were going to give us 3. So I'm delighted that you're giving us so many.
Well, I'm glad you're delighted because, I mean, it was a delight watching this guy run up and down. All right,
what I should have done? I should have put Cookie Monster's head on James Cook's body in the graphic. Now that dang it, I missed an opportunity there.
You have that kind of talent?
I do.
All right, here's the last one, and this goes back to when
he's already scored.
When you're getting, yeah, I know. Well, listen, smarty pants, cookie pants. All right, we talked about guys guessing. Guess what? He does it again. I mean, we're just running basic play here, and the defender just takes himself out of the play because he just thinks he's going to solve it all by his lonesome. I'm going to go back to the beginning. Keep your eyes on the defender outside of Deion Dawkins, out in space.
It was 98. You were correct.
And look at him just fly. I'm going to run it back. Keep your eyes on him and watch from the width where he is outside the tight end, and he just flies. Opens up a gaping hole. Now, I might be old and I might be slow, just like you, but I think you and I could have picked up 4 on this one.
It's the old Emmitt Smith holes that he used to run through on his way to 15,000 or 20,000 yards, whatever it was.
This formation indicates toss. Everything about this says Reggie Gilliam on the edge. We're tossing, and here we go. The beauty is, for us, it's not. Oh, it is a toss. Sorry, this one is a toss. But what he does, what Cook does here, is he just says he looks at the angle, the defensive end, and that gaping hole, and decides I'm just going to come downhill. But look how far the defensive end takes himself out of this play.
Well, Dion pushes him in the back a little bit. Yeah,
barely. But what I'll say to him this: if you're going to run that far lateral on the snap of the ball without reading anything, just run your ass to the sideline, up the sideline, into the tunnel, get in the shower, and wait for the rest of the team on the bus, because that is the dog's ass right there.
The funny thing is if this was a pass play, like from a contain standpoint, he's doing exactly what he's supposed to be doing. He's keeping Josh Allen in the pocket. Right?
Stop it. Stop it.
Maybe he thought it was a pass play, John.
All of this just makes me hungry, Joe. It makes me hungry
for
the next game, for more James Cook. And it's still hot dog season in Arizona, and you got a grill. You can fire up that grill. It's hot dog season everywhere. 150 years, Joe. The Sahlen's family has been turning out high quality deli meats and hot dogs. They're available all over the country. Check your local retailer. If they're not, and you're hankering for that Western New York flavor and feel and taste and crunch, go to Sahlen.com and order your dogs. 100 employees they hire and maintain. It's just a tradition unlike any other. And if you're from Buffalo or the Western New York area, you know what I'm talking about.
Oh, yeah.
You get that wonderful Sahlen's hot dog. Thank you, Sahlen's, for making it the Sahlen's Off Tackle Show with me, John Fina. Joe, I got to address it. We talked about it last night. We're a 5-man protection team. Okay. But you got to communicate. You got to have everybody on the same page because you're 5-man pro, you're in positions where a single mistake is a glaring mistake.
Right.
You posed this question last night. You get very frustrated when you see a double team and a free rusher. And you're right.
I don't get frustrated. I'm just like, who made the mistake here?
Well, and I'm about to explain it to you because you're half right on this particular one, but there's a lot to this. Sorry for the film.
And this is the one that Greg Olson broke down as well, right, in the broadcast?
Yes. Okay. Yes, it is. So look at this front. The defensive end is 8 yards outside of Deion Dawkins. But if you count from him to the defensive end that's out on top of Khalil Shakir, you've got 6 guys. Now, normally, when you get a guy that wide, you wouldn't count him, but he's a big man. So if he's a defensive end or a linebacker, you have to count him as if he's in the box in between the tackles or just outside the tackles. So the first problem here is we have 5 guys, they have 6. By virtue of game planning, you just have to decide which 3 you're going to take with a slide, which 2 you're going to take man, and which guy is going to be free. Does that make sense?
It does. I'm just looking at the formation. When you look at what we're looking at, which is Khalil Shakir to the right, Dalton Kincaid to the left, they've got 5 down linemen, and then Josh, nobody in the backfield. They're going to spread, which to me, as soon as you run this film, I'm going to ask the question. And the question I'm going to ask is, why didn't he just go forward, which is what he used to do? He used to put 1 foot back, and then he would just take off on people, because this is a formation that he used to get he would just gobble rushing yards out of this formation.
Well, I didn't look at it from that perspective, but thanks for diverting me from my point.
Keep going.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
When we run the film, we'll get to that. But by virtue of the game plan, you've got to choose which way your center is going. Now, it could be by defensive formation, or you could say the guy on Torrance is the better rusher of the 2. McGovern, you're going to go toward the better defensive tackle. Okay, in this instance, it's the one technique. We do slide right, And so mathematically, we've got 3 for 3. And then on the weak side, we've got 2 for 3. And that's in fact what happens here. So
which side in this case is the weak side? The side they're sliding away from?
There is no weak side.
Okay, gotcha. Okay.
I mean, formation wise, the defense has to call something weak. So you see our tight end to our left, so they would naturally call that strong and then call the other side weak.
Okay.
Defensive philosophy and game planning, you could choose any number of ways to say, weak and strong.
Got it. Okay.
But the point is, you got to account for all 6 of these guys. You can't make them all rush. You can't make 4 rush. You just got to deal with whoever comes. So we decide to go right. And I'm going to pause it here. So this is why you and other fans get a little frustrated. So Connor McGovern slides to his right. His guy goes left. The guy up over Shakir drops. So you got 2-on-1, Spencer and Torrance on the defensive end. But that's just how it works because they dropped the wide guy. Likely the mistake here is by Dion Dawkins. And what we would do back in the day when we had 5-man protection is you always block from the inside out. So really what should be happening here is if Dion takes the guy in the gap between he and Edwards, we're in a pretty good position. So to your comment, why didn't Josh tuck it and run? Well, you can't do that when a guy's coming into your face. And in fact, he tries to escape, but he doesn't. The guy out over Dion eventually comes, but the theory is he's further away. He has less of an opportunity to get there in time and to give more of an opportunity for the quarterback to move to his right or move into the line, which is fortified, and get the ball downfield. So I'm calling this one. I'm calling this one on Dion.
Yeah, and Aaron Knights asked the question: Isn't Dion supposed to block inside out? And that's what you just pretty much explained. I just feel like that. I just feel like this is a play where Josh Allen sees that defensive line alignment, and there's going to be a gap, right? And he probably knows in his head, should know where the gap is going to be, and it's just I'm just going to put my foot in the ground and take off. But which is what we used to see him do a lot in when he was younger. So
largely, I would agree with you, but the problem is when it happens this quickly, because that guy's right there. If Dion squeezes on this guy, there will be a gap outside of Spencer and potentially up over Torrance.
Right.
All right. So, look, I get it. I want Josh to settle down in the pocket a little bit more, but that doesn't make me want to stand around in the pocket.
No. Not when you get a free rusher like in your face.
And I'm going to just put this one up here and show you what happens when you do take that extra half second to set your feet and throw. And we get a great result. I love this, by the way. I mean, I watched this whole film like it was a training film. It was so much fun. And these 2 mistakes are really the only glaring mistakes that I saw in the entirety of the game, not this next one, if it ever comes up. And there it is. This is Josh just, hey, I'm going to set my feet. I'm going to wait. I'm going to throw. Okay, so we got a similar situation, 4 or 5-man protection. Got a nice wide pocket. Dion's out in space. Sets his feet. Dion gives up a little too much ground, but Josh recently has been leaving pockets that look like this. And he doesn't leave this time. He gets a little bit of heat right here, but instead he sees the open guy and he strokes it. Great, right? Awesome. Now,
with an arm in his face.
Hey, that's the job, baby. That's the job. You're never high and dry for long in this league.
Right.
Here we go. Last one. This one is just such a head scratcher. David Edwards is trying to switch a game that doesn't exist. I just couldn't understand for the life of me what the hell he was doing here. He just leaves his guy on a phantom game between the tackle and the end. And it's
so this is the 10-second. This is the 7-second sack or the 10-second sack.
This is the 7-second sack. It's incredible. Right. Watch Edwards. He's locked up on his guy, and then all of a sudden he peeks out to Dion, and he thinks there's going to be a game, so he leaves his guy to help Dion. Now the other explanation behind this, and he might have thought that he had help from Connor McGovern, that they were sliding to the left. But again, if he thought that, what the hell's going on with the communication that you think you have inside help and you're going to leave a guy that you're locked up on to go help your Pro Bowl tackle. Makes no sense.
Right.
So
yeah, there's a moment there where McGovern is looking to his left I don't know if he's looking for work or if that's an moment.
Well, so initially on the snap, this was what makes me think this is a slide to the right. His head on the snap of the ball is looking to the right. If it were a slide left on the snap of the ball, he'd be looking at 94.
Mm-hmm.
And to be fair, Edwards engages this guy like he's got him solo. But then they get to this inflection point right here. And I don't know what the hell he's thinking. He's got his eyes on Dion, and then he's exchanging a tackle end game that never happened. I'm like, stop making shit up. Do your job, dude. I mean, I'm gonna, that's the play right there for Edwards. He's in the meeting room today, and he's like, "Oh God, I hope we just break for maybe the power goes out, maybe the IT system goes down." And you're like, "Oh God, here," and you just kind of cover your face with a couple of fingers, and you're like, "Oh God, is he gonna see it? Of course he's gonna see it. What's he gonna say?" And then the coach is like, just runs it back like 6 times. It's dead silent in the room. And then at one point, the coach just goes, "What in the hell are you doing here?" Or it might start like this, Joe. Here's the first thing. "Hey, Connor, what was the call?" "Slide right." And then he runs it like 8 times.
just to make sure that everybody sees it.
Edwards, "What the hell are you doing?" But in a win, in a victory, when it's 40-9, everybody's breaking up in that room. You're laughing your asses off, and then when the laughter settles down, then Cromer's going to be like, "Yeah, it was funny because we won, but God dang, what are you doing, son?"
Does it feel like they're having more communication issues this year than they did last year? Same group.
No, I think, they had some really critical ones in the 2 losses. So in a loss, everything gets highlighted, right? Everything is, everybody's like all over all the small mistakes. And in a victory, you tend to be a little bit more forgiving, and hopefully you learn a little bit more, even when you're in a victory. But I will say that I felt as if there was a little bit of a lax attitude in our offensive line as far as aggressiveness, as far as bullying behavior in the 2 losses that didn't exist in this last game. There are a couple mental errors, but guys played with some fury and some anger.
Urgency. We like the word urgency.
Fury and anger. Hair on fire. Chaos.
That'd be Fenger, wouldn't it?
Fenger.
I'm going to go ahead and get us out of here. John, great work. Good job putting all that together for us. Thank you for showing us a lot just in what was going on with James Cook and the game that he had. Then obviously some of the breakdowns on the offensive line as well. Great insight. Any final thoughts before I get us out of here?
Well, I'm out of focus. I don't know why.
Yeah, you've got it on autofocus, and at one point you put your arms up and it went haywire on you. So
I don't know how to change that setting.
We'll talk about it. Yeah, we'll talk about it. Any final thoughts outside of beyond your camera being out of focus?
I have thoughts on the Kansas City game, but I won't give them up. That's Jerry's job. But across the board, great performances by all. A couple of lacking things by a few people, including Josh Allen. But, we'll get there. It's good to get there after a victory, and it's good to fix these little things and gear up against the Kansas City Chiefs.
Yeah, for sure. But with that, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for tuning into the Sahlen's Off Tackle with John Fina show on the Overreaction Sports Network, presented by FanDuel. Always appreciative, John, of the time that you put in, the extra time that you put in and work to go through the film and find plays to bring to us, to teach us, the fan base, more stuff about what's going on the field. So thank you so much for all the work you put in, man. Appreciate you.
My pleasure, buddy.
For me, for John, for Jerry, for Zig, for Anth, I'm gonna have to get like a list. I'm gonna have to get a roster so I don't miss anybody. And for Dan, before I do that, tomorrow Ryan Talbot from Shout is going to be with us for On the Beat, and then 7 days of Sunday with Zig Fracassi and Jerry Ostrowski on Wednesday. Saturday morning, the walkthrough with Anthony Marino, and then Saturday evening, the Mafia Bets program, which Dan is crushing it again. His bets are out on Twitter right now for the Monday night game, which has already started. So I don't think that helps anybody. But yes, for all of us here at Overreaction Sports, appreciate you guys. Love you. Go Bills.
Go Bills.
Go Bills.